Hey there, let's get straight into it. I'm going to share with you my 10 do's and don'ts for your paper product business, whether that's a planner or a journal. Hi, I'm Polly. I'm the CEO and founder of Horacio Printing, and I'm the host of the Dream Printing podcast. I'm also the creator of Print School, where I help hundreds of students create their own luxury paper products, and then I also help them launch it into the world. So that's what I do. That's what I love doing, along with running my own paper product business. And I've built my paper product business into a 7-figure business. And so I'm going to share some do's and don'ts because there is a lot of information out here, right? In YouTube University, in Podcast University, on Google, like, how do I actually make this happen and not just create one thing, but create a business out of it, make it sustainable, make a difference? How do I actually do that? So I'm going to share some do's and don'ts because I don't want to waste your time, and I would love to just kind of save you from some pain of figuring things out. I've had a lot of people come into my program who've like, oh, I went down this rabbit hole and so let's not do that. So I'm going to share some do's and don'ts. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it off. Let's do this. All right, let's start with a don't. This is a don't. Number one is a don't. Don't DIY at home. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, let me just say, if you are like, oh, but I love to DIY at home and I only want to make it for me and I have all the time in the world and I've got all the Cricut cutter things and binders and things like that, and you've already spent all the money on all the machinery, by all means, do whatever makes the flame in your heart happy. Please do it. That's fun. The most amount of DIYing I do in my paper product is adding washi tape, adding stickers, and highlighting. I don't want to build the thing myself because guess what? It's just not sustainable. It's not scalable. It's not practical if you want to have a scalable business, meaning you want to sell 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 items. It's not scalable to make it at home. I do have a video about how to create a 6-figure product-based business. If you want to watch that, here is what it looks like. You can go watch that video. I'll put a link below as well for this episode. If you're selling things around $45-ish, you're going to need to sell at least 2,000 items to get to that 6-figure mark. That's just the math of it, which I might not be mathing perfectly right. Let me just double check that math while I'm here. It's close. Okay, so you need to sell at around $50 or whatever to hit that 7-figure mark. So you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for your business to be scalable, and DIYing at home ain't it. You need to free up your time to grow the business, to market the business, to do the other admin work, and to secure partnerships and all those other things. So building your products at home, DIY, is not it. Yeah, so there you go. So my number two is a do. My first do of the list. So what I would recommend doing, number 2, is finding a high-end printer that can provide a beautiful result. That's what you want. I'm a paper snob. I'm a self-prescribed paper snob. Maybe you are too. This is one of my dream planners from 2025. We just got our 2026 collection in. We've got our photo shoot next month. I will be giving a behind the scenes of my 2026 collection soon. I gave one a few weeks ago, but I'll be doing an update soon on where we're at with our 2026 collection. But I like high-end products, thick, luxurious paper. That's one of my love languages. And so you want to find a printer that can do this. I don't think DIYing is the option for this type of caliber. Also, print on demand isn't really the option. What I have found is I work with luxury traditional printers that you have to buy in bulk, which we'll talk about that in one of the do's and don'ts in just a minute. And so I do give my list of preferred printers to my print school students. We have printers overseas, both in China and other countries. We are opening up our Rolodex of other countries as well. And we have been navigating everything with our students. And as of right now, all of my stuff is en route to me. I will not be affected by the reciprocal tariffs. Whoop, whoop. So that's pretty exciting. If you have any questions about that, by the way, and want to talk specifically on that topic, comment below or email us, hi@dreamprinting.co. We would love to chat with you about that. So the do here is to find a beautiful printer and that can make beautiful products at a price point that actually works for you. That's one of the tricky do's. And that is what I help my students do. And it's not just about finding the printer. You also need to know how to talk to the printer, because I could give you the contact of my printer, but you need to understand how to speak the language of the printer in order to get the product that you want. There is a whole language that comes with printing for you to get really that style you want, the specs that you want, the paper you want, etc., and the binding you want that lays flat. And so that's where I help my students navigate that journey at the best price point possible and the highest quality. So number three is another don't. Don't assume. And what I say assume is don't assume what your customers want. That's the worst. One of the best principles in having a successful business is ask people what they want, give the people what they want. Like really, it's ask people what they want, create it, and give it to them. It's 3 steps. And so it sounds so simple, but so many people skip this step. You assume people want a journal without lines. You assume people prefer a dot grid journal. You assume blah, 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 blah. Insert the thing people assume. And I've done it so many times in my business. And very often, I know I do have like an instinct of like, I love this. I really know my people will love this. And so there is like, you can kind of have fun with your instincts and stuff. But when making a lot of big decisions in business, it is good to ask your customers what they want, or ask your prospective customers what they want. Don't go ask your Aunt Mary what she wants. Don't ask your mom what she wants. We don't want to just go to one person. We want to go to your target person, okay, and ask them what they want. So don't assume. So that's number 3, don't assume. And number 4 is a do. Do ask. Ask. Connect with your customer, connect with your prospects. One of the best ways to do this is a Google form. Every January and February, I do a big survey to my customers and ask them to vote on cover art, vote on interior layout, vote on what they want with their planner, vote on new products that are in development at Horacio Printing. And I get them to vote. And if we have 10 things we've been wanting to release as a company, and the customers pick these 3, guess what? Those are the 3 we're gonna release, you know? And knowing what my customers want helps me to make a more educated purchase of inventory. So do ask, don't assume. So that's number 3 and number 4. Let's see, so we did don't DIY at home, do find a high-end printer, don't assume, do ask. Number 5, if you're taking notes, number 5 is a don't. Don't spend your own money to buy the products. Now, I break this rule, and for example, this year I did spend my own money because I've been in the business for 10 years, and now I save a portion of my monthly revenue for future inventory purchasing. So I've become my own bank. I don't have to pay interest to any bank or any loan or anything like that. But when you're starting out, sometimes it's hard to have that chunk of money to pre-buy inventory in bulk that is high quality. And that's really what the successful companies do. Successful printing companies buy in bulk from a real luxury printer. They don't print on demand. That's not what successful companies do. But, well, how do you come up with that money? My first year, and I talk about this a lot in my workshop. If you want to watch the full workshop that goes through this whole process, it's horacioprinting.com/workshop. But I spent my own money. I had a sales job at the time, and I took my quarterly commission check and my savings account. And then I asked my dad for a little loan, and I paid him back first as soon as we sold the first set of planners. But I spent way too much money on my first run of inventory. I spent like $28 per item, which is insane. It's really hard to build a business like that. And I've had students come to me and say, hey, I checked out this printer and they're going to be $54 an item. How do you make a business off of something that costs $54 an item? That's impossible. And when they were able to hear how my students are able to get products between $5 and $10, that's doable. That's something you could build a wholesale business off and a retail business off and have that margin to cover the cost of your business and also pay yourself. So when you're getting started, how do you come up with that chunk of money without taking on debt? Well, one way to do it is to do a pre-order campaign. Once you get your sample in your hands, you can say, hey guys, pre-order now at a discount, and you take that chunk of money that you get up front and you use that to buy your inventory. We've had a lot of students do that. We have students currently in a Kickstarter right now. You can actually go to our alumni page right here. Here's a little view of our alumni page. And a lot of people in here have done pre-order campaigns. They've done Kickstarters, and they raise anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 to fund their first print. And that's great. So you can check out some of their Kickstarters and kind of learn from them and get inspired. This one's one of my favorites. It's Bethany Kimsey's company, and her product is the Mama Warrior Prayer Journal. She pre-sold 500 units. She ended up buying 14,000 of these, and she's been selling them like crazy. So proud of her. It's a really beautiful product, by the way, if you want a prayer journal. She's a mom of 8, and she's just incredible. I have an interview with her as well on this channel if you want to watch it. Another student that did a pre-order campaign is Siobhan. She did the Getting Unstuck journal, and I think she raised over $9,000 on Kickstarter. I think her goal was like $5,000, so she went over that, and that was just amazing. So Bethany did her pre-order on Shopify. Siobhan did hers on Kickstarter. You can do either way. We teach both ways inside of Launch School. All right, the next one is a don't. And you've kind of already heard me say this one. Don't use print on demand. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It sounds so good, right? Make it on Canva, print on demand. What could go wrong? Well, it's expensive. You don't get all the bells and whistles. It's not high quality. The paper's not thick enough. Some print on demand companies are confusing. Some of them, they don't allow you to change the inside of the pages. I so wish this was viable, and I have looked into it. It feels like a quick fix, but at the end of the day, what I have seen with print on demand is that they are low quality, which means you could still launch a company. Don't get me wrong. You could still launch a company and use a print-on-demand printer. But here's the problem. Do you think those customers are going to come back and order again and again and again and again? How often have you gotten a product in the mail and it was lower quality than you thought? Did you go back and order again? No, you didn't. No one is returning again and again to buy what felt kind of cheap. And if you're like me, you're a paper snob. So we want to build high quality products with great packaging, with love and with care, with intention to help people, to make an impact in this world. We want to do luxury. As a Christian woman, as a Christian company, I feel very called to excellence, not perfection. But if this has God's word in it, it needs to be excellent. It needs to be beautiful. I feel like sometimes we get a hall pass for being Christian and be like, oh, it's Christian, so give it grace for being terrible. No, like it should be better. It should be better than anything else on the market. I'm so adamant about that. So that is the don't. The do to that is do find a paper snob approved printer, which we already kind of did that. That was actually number 2. But here's the do. Order a sample. Even if, let's say, you find a new print-on-demand company that popped up and it's like, oh, this might be it. Get a sample. Get a sample. Do get a sample. That is the do here. Order a sample. Check it out. How does it look? That's really critical. And we have all of our students go through the process of ordering a sample. And once you have that sample in your hand, you can really step forward with marketing and creating that pre-order launch campaign. All right, number 9, we're coming down to the end, is a don't. Don't assume people will find your website magically. Just because you have a website and it's out there and it's beautiful doesn't mean people are going to find it. And it's such a bummer. You did all that work, or even your Kickstarter. People aren't just going to magically find your website. They're not. And I've seen this happen a lot. Well, once you have a website like Google, people will find it. No. This is what you do. Number 10, do. Create a robust launch strategy that maximizes exposure. What's exposure? Eyeballs. You have to get eyeballs on your stuff. A lot of people pay for eyeballs with marketing, advertising, how many impressions they get. And this is what I teach inside of Launch School, how to prepare for a marketing launch, how to set up your channels, how to get all of your assets ready, your content ready, your messaging ready, and then launch it to as many people as possible so you can get the first 50 sales, the first 100 sales to get the ball rolling, turn those into raving fans, and then keep the ball rolling, and then eventually come out with new products. That is the plan. That's what I want for you. And I would love for you to check out some of our alumni. Go support them and see the things that they've made. Get inspired. HoracioPrinting.com/alumni is where you can learn about them. And I would love to offer you a seat inside of Print School. You can apply at HoracioPrinting.com/Print School. I would love to see your application come through. I would love to chat with you. And if you want to send a DM to our Instagram page, we do have a new Instagram. Here it is, _print_school. Send us a DM, chat with us if you have any questions. And I would also love to know if there's any other things you would like to learn on this channel. We are putting out new episodes every week, and we would love to hear what your questions are. Be sure to subscribe. We have a whole channel of previous interviews and lessons for you to check out. I just want to encourage you to keep taking your next step. And do it afraid. I know there's fear that comes with doing something new, stepping out of your comfort zone. There's fear of failure. There's fear of judgment. And, what are people going to think? And sometimes it's the people closest to us that cause the most fear. And so I just want to encourage you to keep taking steps. And I have the last episode. If you missed the last episode, it was really, really good. It was the 5 keys to get started. And we really talked about clarity and getting clarity on who you want to help and your why. So if you missed that episode, go back and watch episode 260. That's for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. You are so loved. Bye, guys.